Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1713, written by KatVanWall. Robes, Slippers, and Hilton Jitters. I got lost in a lift in the Hilton Zagreb. I was staying on the 5th floor and went up in the lift to use the swimming pool on the 10th floor. Bear in mind that I was wearing only a bikini and the hotel white toweling robe and slider slippers that they give you in your room. Went and had my swim, all good. Put back on my robe and slippers, got in the lift and hit the button marked 5. Got out when it stopped. There was a big 5 on the wall in the lift lobby, so it was clearly the correct floor. Only it wasn't. It led only to a corridor that was an L-shaped dead end. I banged on a few locked doors and shouted, "Hello?" to no avail. On the 10th floor where I'd got in, there were 2 banks of lifts, 2 rows of 3 facing each other, so I thought maybe I should have gotten into the opposite bank instead. Easy, I thought. I'll go back up to the 10th floor, pop across the lobby, and get into one of the opposite lifts. So I get back in and hit the button for 10 and go up. I get out at floor 10, only this isn't where I got in. There's no opposite bank of lifts. I think there were maybe 2 or 3, all in a line. I can see the gym and spa area where I'd been for swimming. Not the pool, but a different area was visible from here through the glazed part of a door, through which I could see a collection of gym machines. There was no one in there, no one using them, no staff, compared with the relatively busy reception where I'd gone in for the pool. I banged on this door and yelled for a bit, to no avail. Ventured along a couple of corridors, dead ends, all doors locked, no answer. I went down to level 5 in a different lift, only to find myself back in the dead-end corridor I'd come from. Went back up and then down again, trying different lifts each time. No difference. The room I'd come from, was staying in, had definitely been on level 5. I eventually went all the way down to level 1 or 0, I forget which one is ground floor in Croatia, thinking I'd just get out at reception and walk up the stairs. Nope, it was an underground parking garage. I tried each lower level, only to find more and more underground parking garages, and eventually a totally deserted reception of a building that wasn't the one I'd been staying in, or the Hilton at all. It looked like some kind of office block. So I got out there, walked out onto the street, still in my white robe and looking like a psychiatric unit escapee, walked around the corner and back into the Hilton reception from outside, trying to style it out and waltz up the stairs like I walk around Zagreb in the bathrobe all the time. My now ex-husband was wondering why I was taking so long. To this day, I'm not sure whether he believes me about what happened, and I've never been able to tell anyone else what happened, without receiving looks of great skepticism. Case file 1713, Robes, Slippers, and Hilton Jitters. Okay, so yeah, multiverse space-time portal. You crossed into a different universe, one that was wildly different. And I think those portals, they can transcend to faraway locations, faraway universes where, in quantum immortality, generally speaking, it's right next door. But this would be clear evidence that those portals can transmit to you far away. Though, where was it? Was it in the hallway, or rather the elevator itself, acting as a kind of buffer between realities? We've seen multiple accounts where people board elevators in hotels often, and then they're just not in the same hotel anymore. So hotels acting sort of like a Faraday cage, but for space-time itself. Elevators are so bizarre, yet I'm not really that afraid of them, even knowing all this, because the frequency is still very, very, very low, given how many people take elevators. But there is something about them that stumps us. Case file number 1714, written by Snoo Macaroons 4456. Gaming Night Delight turns into a fright. Yesterday at 5 PM, I was playing the new OG map game mode on Fortnite while sitting in a Discord call with my friends. Suddenly, I received a missed phone call from a number with no caller ID. Usually, I don't answer calls from unfamiliar numbers, but I was expecting a call from a job I had applied for. Thinking it might be them, I decided to answer. Upon answering the second call from the same no caller ID number, I asked, "Hello?" The loud gunshots and sound effects from Fortnite made it hard to hear at first, so I removed my headset to listen better. The female voice on the other end sounded like my girlfriend, and her tone seemed offended when I asked who it was. To confirm it was her, I inquired about the caller ID. and the response matched how my girlfriend would react if she was genuinely confused. She asked to come over, suggesting a Lyft instead of Uber because of a $5 discount I had for the Lyft ride, and also we shared the same Lyft and Uber accounts. Despite being surprised by the accurate details, something felt off, especially since she didn't know the driver was even close by. Slightly suspicious, I bought the Lyft, but then hesitated when she asked for the money instead so she could buy it herself. This led me to consider a potential AI scam, and so I canceled the ride, especially since she had mentioned not wanting to come home with me earlier that day. Upon calling my actual girlfriend, she denied making any calls, leaving me puzzled. The bizarre encounter left me contemplating the idea of alternate realities intersecting due to her very accurate responses, as no other explanation seemed plausible. Perhaps in a different universe, or just an AI scam trying to get money from me. It was too coincidental though, and someone would have to be stalking me to know these things. I do think it's possible though, that higher versions of ourselves exist with everything we desire, wanting to be manifested through the energy we create around us. Caissons file 1714. Gaming Night Delight turns into a Fright. I think your instincts are probably correct that this was some sort of AI scam. With only a small snippet of someone's voice, you can replicate their voice pretty accurately, not 100%, but like 85-90% of the way. There's this website called 11 Labs, where if you do this, you input your own voice, you can have it narrate almost anything. Which is interesting given my line of work. And it's in part why I decided to go on camera, because I didn't want people to think that, oh, I'm just using an AI program to do this. No, it is me. It's YouTube, right? If I remove the you, well, it's just tube, and it's like any other fictional thing you can watch. It's not what I wanted. But it is kind of interesting and scary at the same time, the advent of new technology and how quickly it's advancing for AI systems. Makes you wonder what the future, even in 5 years, is going to be, let alone 50. Can't even begin to imagine. None of us can. Though on this story, if it was a scam, it seems like a very small amount of money to try to scam. So I don't know, maybe it was your girlfriend from a different universe and the lines just got jumbled along the way. Hard to say, but it almost seems more likely to be the latter. Because again, of how small the amount of money we scammed is, it doesn't seem worth it. Especially for such an advanced kind of scam. What do you think? Now time for the quote of the day. V for Vendetta. Behind this mask, there is more than just flesh. Beneath this mask, there is an idea. And ideas are bulletproof. They sure are. But ideas are like water. They can erode away stone, but they take a long time to build up momentum. And even when the momentum is there, the erosion is very slow. So be careful about ideas, because they can spread. They can only be cured with better ideas. Very dangerous. But as they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. Very true. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.